Tobago's cocoa is well known internationally for its distinct fruity flavor, as it forms the main ingredient in dark and gourmet chocolates. Thus, it fetches a relatively high price on the international market. Interest in organic-based farming as opposed to man-made chemical-based farming is growing, and the UNDP is certainly playing its role in assisting the process.
We are funded by the Global Environment Facility. It's a corporate donor program, and we are based in Trinidad and Tobago. Now the program, like I said, it's global, but it's very country-driven. So Trinidad and Tobago Small Grants Program focuses on providing grants and technical assistance to NGOs, non-governmental organizations, and community-based organizations to implement environmental projects within the country. We work under the remit of environmental conservation must also come alongside sustainable livelihoods.
Other groups in Tobago besides the TCFA were recipients of the funds from the UNDP's Small Grants Program. The funds are given under strict conditions. The UNDP representatives make the grantees aware of the role of the partners in the project, give guidance for project implementation, and outline the required reporting and evaluation formats. Why did the farmers of Tobago choose to use organic-based farming methods?
My approach is to enhance what they do naturally. So they are averse to adopting strict agrochemical type regimes. So simply just allow them to do what they do and seek strategies to enhance what they're doing or make what they're doing more commercial, more suited to commercial means. So the organic thrust was to standardize and exactly what they do naturally.
How exactly is it practiced?
Well, organic in the strict sense is not by natural means, the non-use of agrochemicals and non-use of non-intensive type farming methods. In intensive type cocoa farming, the spaces between the cocoa trees would vary between 6 to 8 to 10 feet. With organic farming, the spacings would be 12 feet or more. You would use a lot of composting to provide fertilizer and natural fertilizer, or you would import things like chicken droppings and build compost heaps, and that would be your source of fertilizer. In addition to that, organic means that you must keep records, and these records must be audited by a third party. That's when you have a strict organic cocoa, a strict organic regime.
The International Federation of Organic Agriculture Movements, IFOAM, defines organic agriculture as all agricultural systems that promote the environmentally, socially, and economically sound production of food and fibers. The definition also states that organic agriculture dramatically reduces external inputs by refraining from the use of chemosynthetic fertilizers, pesticides, and pharmaceuticals. Instead, it allows the powerful laws of nature to increase both agricultural yields and disease resistance. Experts agree that organic farming entails the use of rotating crops on the same plot of land or intercropping, planting cover crops to maintain soil health, and applying animal manure to the field.
The Tobago Cocoa Farmers Association is quite an interesting initiative. It's a relatively small grant that's being offered, and I mean, I don't know if many people know, but Tobago cocoa, was one of the best in the world in terms of quality, and the Tobago cocoa farmers have had a lot of challenges in terms of, really producing the quality of cocoa that they used to produce for a number of reasons. What this project is really focusing in on is trying to make the shift between the current methods of cocoa farming that may be harmful to health and the environment, such as using a lot of fertilizers and pesticides, and moving towards more sustainable organic methods of farming.
In organic agriculture, you've got to be very careful and follow all the instructions. So as you go through the next 3 years, you will hear there are instructions that they will give you. whoever you are certifying with. When you tell the certifying body you want to do organic agriculture, they will tell you what the rules are. And those rules are very, very specific. If you don't stick to those rules, you'll find that you are thrown out. You're not considered. And the rules change from group to group.
The story of the Tobago farmers' progress in the field is one of sheer grit and determination, as they apply the lend hand concept to their endeavors.
Today, I know on the labor side that we have had some difficulties in mobilizing labor, in that you have the dual problem of the capacity of the farmers to pay for the farm work required and get it done, of course, and of course the supply side of the labor. The farmers will be high on the demand side, but they have very little supply. The method they have hit on is organizing themselves, and the supporters call it that, but this is almost like a campaign. And this was a show of support I have come to treat with them.
The principle behind the lend hand concept is that all the farmers congregate on each other's piece of land and lend a hand as they work without financial remuneration to accomplish their set task, be it clearing the bush, planting the young plants, or reaping the produce. This concept of helping each other was developed to deal with the two major problems facing the agricultural sector in Trinidad and Tobago, namely the prohibitive cost of labor and its short supply. But as the men and women gather to help their own, a spirit of cooperation and brotherly love prevails, and in the end, all is left with a sense of satisfaction that they are closer to making each plot more economically sustainable through the use of environmentally friendly means. Cocoa was once very important to the economy. This according to the Cocoa Research Unit of the University of the West Indies. In a research paper written by Francis Beckley, many factors contributed to the decline of the industry, including the high cost of labor, poor access roads to the cocoa estates, and drought. Tobago cocoa, world-class, homegrown by men and women with the love and passion to make their cocoa the best in the world. With the UNDP funding and the blessings of the THA, the vision of a group of dedicated men and women for the revitalization of the Tobago cocoa industry is on its way to being realized and putting Tobago cocoa back on the world stage again.
In the next 10 years, basically anybody at almost any end of the world should be able to know if you want a good chocolate product, you want a good cocoa product, then exotic Tobago. And it's important that we develop this with a brand that will really set us apart from the rest, because we have the ingredients. We have the ingredients, and it's about putting the structures in place to really strengthen the industry and bring it to the place of fullness.
As far as age succession issues are, we started getting younger men into the group. I think our youngest person is 24 years old. And we have two of those young men around that age. One interesting thing is that we've seen a lot of people coming into the industry as a second job, because people between the 45 to 50 years old, they're planning to leave their full-time jobs and or going into early retirement and looking to establish cocoa farms, so which is kind of interesting. I didn't see that demographic all the time.
It's fair to say that since the movement revitalization of the cocoa activities in Tobago, we had Mr. Gabriel Nicholson, Mr. Clement Bob, and other gentlemen talking to me about the production side, about the farming activity, and of course the question of what are the appropriate cocoa products and processes and the ways in which it can be organized. Because one has to see this as an integrated activity from the land preparation through the production of the raw cocoa, through the milling and refining of that, to the point in which you begin to have the final products. We have to choose on whether we do the export or whether we try to do manufacturing of certain products here, whether we try to do certain mixes and certain things and so on. And in that context, this is a long-term activity. It's not something you can do in a year.
For us, we are just really pleased as an organization. The Jeff Small Grants program, like I said, our clients are the local communities. And at the end of the day, we would like to see a Tobago where environment and livelihoods, sustainable development is moving along the same path, as I said. We want to be able to see that local communities are striving, using their natural resources in ways that are not going to be detrimental to the environment.
From nurturing the young cocoa plants into trees bearing succulent cocoa pods destined to be turned into products to be savored and enjoyed around the globe, cocoa or chocolate drinks, the delicious chocolate bar, Tobago cocoa is ultimately a product of love and warmth and goodness of this island's people.